There is a paradox at the heart of human life. We long to be seen, and yet we hide. We crave recognition, and yet we build walls. The mask is not just a disguise, it is a mirror. A surface that shows what we want others to see, and often hides what we most fear to admit. From ancient rituals to modern social media, the mask has followed humanity like a shadow. It is not only painted wood or carved stone. It is the smile you force when you want to scream, the polite nod when you are collapsing inside, the persona that walks into work while the real self lingers in silence. But the mask does not stay at the surface. Over time, it fuses with the skin. You forget where the mask ends and where you begin. That is why every culture feared the mask, and every philosophy warned about it. In ancient Greece, actors wore masks in the theater. These masks were not just costumes, they were channels. To wear the mask of Dionysus or Apollo was to invite the god to speak through you. The mask amplified the voice, but it also consumed the actor's identity. In Rome, the word persona came from these masks. Persona originally meant the mask through which sound passed. From this we inherit our modern word, personality. Already we see the danger. What we think of as our true identity may only be a mask that allows us to be heard. In Japan, the N theater developed masks that were so subtle they seemed to shift with the light. A tilt of the actor's head could make the face appear joyful, then sorrowful. The mask itself was never fixed. It was a mirror of perception, reminding the audience that identity is fluid and ambiguous. Across Africa, ritual masks were used to summon spirits or embody ancestors. In these ceremonies, the mask was not an illusion but a transformation. The wearer became more than themselves. But with this power came danger, for if you wear the mask too long, you forget the face beneath. Even in the Inca world, stone faces were carved into temples, frozen masks of gods and rulers, reminding everyone that authority itself is a mask projected onto stone. The mask has always lived at the boundary of the sacred and the dangerous. It reveals, it conceals, it empowers, it enslaves. Carl Jung called the mask the persona, the social face we present to the world. It is necessary. Without a mask, we cannot function in society. But Jung warned, when you mistake the mask for the self, you lose the soul. Jacques Lacan deepened this with his theory of the mirror stage. As infants, we first recognize ourselves not directly, but in the reflection of a mirror. Our sense of I is always mediated, first by glass, later by words, later by the gaze of others. The mask is not something we put on later in life. It is there from the very beginning. Irving Goffman, the sociologist, compared life to a stage. We are all actors, presenting versions of ourselves depending on the audience. The self is not a stable essence, but the fragile product of these endless performances. Modern psychology echoes this. The mask is not only about deception. It is about survival. Trauma survivors wear masks to appear strong. Children wear masks to win parental approval. Adults wear masks to be accepted at work, in love, in community. The mask protects, but it also imprisons. The Stoics knew the danger of masks long before psychology. Epictetus said, "You are an actor in a play. The playwright chooses your role. Play it well, but do not mistake the role for who you are." Marcus Aurelius returned to this again and again in his meditations. He reminded himself that titles, costumes, reputations, all are masks that time will strip away. What remains is character. What remains is the inner citadel, untouched by applause or rejection. To the Stoic, the mask is useful, but temporary. You play the role, but you do not become the role. You bow when the curtain falls and return to yourself. If the mask is what we project, the mirror is what we receive. But mirrors are never neutral. For Kierkegaard, despair is the sickness of refusing to face the true self. Most people, he said, would rather live in illusion than face the naked reflection in the mirror. The mask allows us to delay the encounter, but the mirror waits. Levinas added another layer. For him, the face of the other is sacred. To look into another person's eyes is to see an infinite demand, a mirror that judges you without words. The mask is also a shield against the responsibility of truly seeing another. Even Nietzsche, who celebrated masks as a form of creative strength, warned that one must not become lost in them. Every profound spirit needs a mask, he wrote. But he also knew that if you wear too many, the original spirit suffocates. In the modern world, the mask has multiplied. On social media, we craft avatars, profiles, curated feeds. Each selfie is a mask, not only of the face, but of the life we want to project. We wear masks of success, masks of happiness, masks of constant productivity. AI now generates faces that never existed. Influencers sell lifestyles that are pure performance. Even in professional life, resumes, email signatures, job titles, all are digital masks that determine how we are perceived. But the mirror is also digital. Algorithms reflect back to us what we already believe. Echo chambers turn into distorted mirrors that confirm our masks instead of breaking them. In this age, it is easy to forget that the mask is not the self, that the mirror can be false, that truth may be hidden beneath layers of projection. When the mask cracks, the collapse is often violent. Jung called this the return of the shadow, the repressed parts of the self that the mask could not contain. The stronger the mask, the more terrifying the eruption. The perfect mother who suddenly abandons her family. The moral leader exposed in scandal. The happy friend who secretly battles despair. In psychology, this collapse is both dangerous and liberating. Dangerous because the self can feel annihilated. Liberating because for the first time, the mirror shows something real. This is why so many spiritual traditions included the ritual of unmasking. In mystery cults, the initiate removed the mask to face the god directly. In therapy, the client removes the mask to face the wound directly. In meditation, the mind removes masks of thought to face silence itself. Camus saw masks in the myth of Sisyphus. Sisyphus smiles as he pushes the boulder, but the smile is a mask against the absurd. The real question is whether he accepts the absurd beneath it. Pascal warned that humanity distracts itself with endless diversions, each one a mask against the terror of silence and death. We wear the mask of entertainment, the mask of busyness, the mask of success, but underneath is the abyss we refuse to face. Simone Weil wrote that the mask of social roles hides the soul's hunger for truth. To remove the mask, even for a moment, is painful, but it is also the only way to receive grace. So why do we hide? Because exposure is unbearable. To be seen fully is to risk rejection, to risk judgment, to risk annihilation. And yet we also long for it. We long to be known without disguise. The mask is our compromise. It allows us to show just enough to be accepted, while concealing the rest to remain safe. But over time, the mask demands more and more of us. Until one day, we look in the mirror and see only the mask staring back. The Stoics would say, play your role, but do not cling to it. The psychologists would say, acknowledge the mask, but do not confuse it with the self. The philosophers would say, only in facing the mirror directly can you begin to live authentically. Every mask hides a wound. Every mirror hides a question. Who are you when the mask is gone? Who are you when the mirror no longer flatters? Who are you when no one is watching? The mask may protect you, but the mirror demands you. And in the end, the only way to be truly seen is to remove both. For more explorations of myth, psychology, and philosophy, follow Totem Vox.